This is Valley News Live at noon.
The first round of storms has moved through the region, but it's not over yet. We'll be expecting more severe weather later today. So let's go right away to meteorologist Lisa Green, who can tell us the threats we face tonight. Lisa?
Well, good afternoon. It does look like things are going to be ramping up as we warm up today and we have more moisture in the valley. It will all feed into more storm development and the potential for severe weather. One of the earliest moderate risks we've seen here in the valley issued here for today for the southern end of the valley. This is a level 4 out of 5. So that gives you an idea of how high of a risk that is. Fargo-Moorhead included, and again, southeastern North Dakota down to our counties in South Dakota. And then we're also in risks for severe weather in the northern valley too. It just kind of drops off. The threat is a little less, but still everybody under a risk for severe weather. So what we're going to see here is this afternoon and evening, especially evening hours to the midnight hour tonight, is when we'll see those storms. Initially, we'll see them develop as supercell thunderstorms, more likely in the south, and we're looking at those producing large hail, 2 inches in diameter, damaging wind gusts to 75 miles per hour, and even a few tornadoes are possible, most likely in the southern end of the valley. We'll be talking more about that coming up. And then, of course, on top of that, the heavy rain. And then those storms kind of merge into a line pretty quickly here. And that's when we're looking at that damaging wind threat becoming the biggest issue as they lift to the north and east. That's what we're watching our storms doing now. The rain and thunder that we saw earlier lifting north and eastward. And as those clear out, these darker areas you see here on the satellite picture, that's where we're clearing. And the more of that we get, the more heating we get from the sunshine. That really creates some instability, helps to evaporate a lot of the water that's out there, put it in the air, and that helps to fuel those thunderstorms that may be developing later today. You can see we've had breaks in the clouds and more blue sky in Fargo, and temperature here 50 or 61 degrees. It's 57 in Grand Forks. Jamestown is at 62. Fergus Falls heating up to 66 right now. And as we take a look at our planner, we'll see those temperatures continue to rise, maybe even getting to 80 in a couple of spots in the southern valley. And again, that will only help to create more robust and severe thunderstorms for later this evening. So when I come back, we're going to step you through this in our hour-by-hour planner. We'll take a look at just how much moisture, more moisture, we can expect to see with these storms as well in just a couple of minutes.
Thank you, Lisa. And with all of that in mind, it's a good idea to keep that VNL weather app handy for forecasts right at your fingertips. You can download and use it for free. Just search VNL weather in the App Store today. School officials in Roseau, Minnesota say an alleged school threat isn't credible. District officials say late last night they were made aware of a threat made by a student to another student. Parents were notified last night about that possible threat. The district superintendent says after an investigation, the threat was deemed not credible and classes continued as usual this morning. School officials wouldn't comment on any action taken against the student who made that possible threat. A lightning strike is believed to be the cause of a house fire in Detroit Lakes. Take a look at this picture. It happened last night as severe weather moved through the area. DL Online is reporting it happened along Hickory Lane off of South Shore Drive in Detroit Lakes. Now that's the east side of the southeast side of town. No one was reported home at the time, and fire crews are still adding up the damages. Meanwhile, here in Fargo, nearly 30 people are without a place to stay after a massive fire broke out in this South Fargo apartment complex. Take a look at the flames coming from the third floor attic. This was around 11 late last night, just off University Drive, south of downtown Fargo. One person who lives there tells us they didn't know about the fire until someone buzzed all of the units, telling them to get out. Everyone made it out safely, and fire crews were able to rescue all of the pets. Fire officials say the 12-unit complex will need extensive repairs before the tenants can move back in. The Red Cross is helping those who are displaced. Meanwhile, one person is dead and 3 others are hurt in a storm-related crash in southern Minnesota. The State Patrol says a driver had stopped on Interstate 90 near Worthington last evening because of power lines on the highway and was hit by a semi coming up from behind him. A meteorologist from Mexico who was a passenger in the car was killed. She and another person in the car were tweeting about the storm. Another passenger is in critical condition and 2 others have less serious injuries. The semi driver wasn't hurt. Troopers say the driver of a third car was hurt when he drove over the live power lines. Cleanup and repairs are going on in the Twin Cities and southern Minnesota after a line of dangerous storms blew through town, dropping possible tornadoes and heavy rain. One family in South Minneapolis is scrambling for a fix after a neighbor's massive tree snapped and sent a huge branch through their roof, attic, and into their living room. The homeowner was standing about 10 feet away when it happened. He thinks lightning hit the tree. At the peak of the storm, drivers were dealing with street flooding in the uptown neighborhood of Minneapolis. There was golf ball-sized hail in Richfield and Apple Valley. Utility workers are out trying to restore power to more than 75,000 customers who lost power. Coming up at noon, our furry friends can help us through tough times, but one study says pet owners are unable to spot signs of their trouble pets. What you can look out for. But next, what you need to know about more severe weather that's heading our way tonight.